Hi Ethan, this is a review of your Chanter lesson from February 9th, 2024. Let's start out with the scale, starting from low G all the way up to high A and back down. Ready? 1, 2. I want you to check on your transition from D to E. Make sure there's no crossing sounds in there. Just to be sure, let's do some transitions from D to E together. Ready? 1, 2. If you had any crossing sounds right there in that little exercise there, pause the video and try it on your own. And just remember that we do not want to have the crossing sound, which is an unintended what? It's an unintended low G when we make a crossing sound from D to E like that. It's not good. We don't want it. Obviously, you know that, right? The way to avoid it is to very microscopically think of lifting the E finger just a touch early before you bring these D fingers down, okay? All right, in slow motion, that would look like this. Okay? We don't want to really do it like that. We want it to be pretty fast, right? So pause the video and practice that. Okay, now that you've practiced the transition from D to E, D, E over and over, you should be good to go with the scale. Let's do it again. No crossing sounds. 1, 2. All right, the next scale we worked on was the G grace note scale, and we took extra care in the transition from D to E, where the crossing sound could happen, right, to make sure that that's super clear on how to play it. Let's go ahead and try the scale first, just on its own, without any review. All right, it's just as written, so we'll start on low G, or excuse me, low A, G grace note finger in the air, ready to go. So the area I want to focus on is the transition from D to E, going up the scale with the grace note, right? So here we are on D, and we need to get to E with the G grace note. In slow motion, what's happening is this. We're on D, we lift up both these fingers, right? We drop the grace note finger, and then we drop these. So it's a 3-step process if you want to break it down like this in slow motion. We're starting here, we go 1, 2, 3. Now, in reality, these things should be happening. Certainly the last 2 steps should be happening at the same time. The reason I'm breaking it down for you like this into 3 steps is to show where the crossing sound could happen if you weren't careful. Okay, let me show it again. We're starting here. We go from here and we do this. There's not going to be a crossing sound there, right? The listener will hear the high G, the hole that's the topmost hole that's exposed. That's the sound the listener will hear. But at this point, the challenge is to get these 2 fingers down, or this top finger down, and these fingers down at the same time. If you think of it microscopically in slow motion as bring this down first, and then bring that down next, you're going to be okay. You're not going to make a crossing sound. Okay, so let's do the 3 steps again. Starting here, 1, 2, 3. Again, starting from D. 1, 2, 3. So let's try some of those. Ready? 1, 2. Back to D. Back to D. Now if that's too fast, pause the video and do the 3-step process very slowly and then gradually ramp up the speed. Okay. Now let's talk briefly about how to avoid any kind of crossing sound going back down the scale from E, starting from E and going down to D, right? It's the same idea. We want it to sound like this. How do we do that without a crossing sound? Let's break it down into 3 parts. The first thing is we're going to lift the G grace note finger, okay? Because this is E, right? That's E. lift the G grace note finger. The listener will hear what? The top most exposed hole, which is the G. The listener will hear a G. All right, at this point, we want to get ready with the bottom hand, put them in the D position, which is where we're headed, right? And then we bring the G grace note finger down. So the 3 steps, if you were to break it down in super slow motion, you're starting on E is 1, 2, 3. See those steps? Starting on E, G grace note finger up is 1. These fingers up to the D position is 2. Drop the G grace note finger is 3. One more time. Starting on E, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now technically we should not be doing them in steps. We should be doing those last 2 steps at the exact same time. But I'm showing you this so that you can see where the crossing noise happens, so you can avoid it. Let's try this, nice and slow. Okay, what I want you to do is pause the video right now and break it down into those 3 steps, starting on E, and then do the 3 steps to get to the D. Okay, now that you've worked on the transition from D to E and E to D into G grace note, we can put it in the scale properly. Let's go ahead and play the scale together on 3, starting on the low A. 1, 2. Okay, there's one more part of the scale that might need a little bit of clarification. If you look up, after we get to E, we're going up the scale, we're on E, and we need to do a G grace note to F, right? Here's E to F. In slow motion, it's... You see that? Okay, so now we're on F, okay? Now, to go from F to high G, right? From F to high G, we can't do a G grace note on that. So we have to do a thumb grace note. Remember this? So when you do the thumb grace note from F, temporarily, all the fingers are off the chanter on the top hand for just a little bit till the thumb goes back on. I just showed that. I played it long so you could see it, but it should be quick. Practice that on your own if you need to get it nice and quick and snappy, okay? And then we're on high G, and then the last note of the scale is just a high A, no grace note on it, okay? And then we're on high A, and now we're going to go back down the scale, go to high G. We got to do that thumb grace note again, but this time it's going the other way. This time we're on high G, and we're going to take the thumb off and then land on F. So it goes like this. It goes... One thing I would like you to try to do for these transitions with the thumb grace notes is to try and do it with your eyes closed so that you can feel the location of your fingers on the chanter and you can get better at it. So practice this, the thumb grace note going down the scale from high G to F. Practice that on your own. And then the rest of the movements are all what we've already practiced. So we're going to end this video with a review of the G grace note scale. Ready? We'll start on low A. 1, 2. All right, very good. You know, since we have a little bit of time, let's try the D grace note scale just for fun. Here we go. Ready? The D grace note scale, you'll see it starts on low A with the D grace note finger in the air. And we'll go up to C and back down. We'll do more on that in a new video. Have fun.